Okay, Sarah, this is your InDesign file that you have submitted, and I just, I want you to notice all of these type blocks here. These are because the font has not been embedded, and my system doesn't have these fonts. So this is just a warning saying I can go over to Adobe Typekit to find these if I need to replace them. I don't, but I do want to show you one thing. When this first file you submitted, the PDF that you submitted wasn't showing spreads, and that's an issue because we need to show spreads. So and you need to know how to show spreads in InDesign. So I'm just going to export this. This is the InDesign file that you had submitted with your last submission over here. This is the one that was in the one I asked you. Remember the one I had asked you to submit? That's the one I had reopened for you to submit last night. So what I'm going to do is when I opened that file, that PDF, it wasn't showing spreads. So I just want to draw your attention to this. I took this InDesign file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File Export. And when I do, I just want you to notice well, I'll just say yes, 12-page booklet. Okay, and I'm just going to go like this. Let's go. I'm going to call this something crazy so I don't have any problem finding it. And we'll put it right on my desktop. So again, I don't have a problem finding it. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And it's going to export Adobe PDF dialog box will open. And I want you to draw your attention specifically to the pages area. Right down here at the bottom. You want to check that. Make sure that is checked where it says spreads, okay? I'm going to export, and then it's telling me there's overset text. That means that you're not paying attention to your margins. There are some fonts that aren't available in my system. I'm just going to okay that. Then let's go out to my desktop and find that thing. Okay, and there it is. So we'll open that up, and now, as we can see, it's now in spreads, so we can take a look at it. Now, being in spreads, I'm just going to back off a little bit. I want a couple of things. I want you to take a look at these bars. I don't see the reason behind these at the bottom of the page. I just don't. I've been thinking and thinking and thinking, and I just cannot determine what they have to do with the presentation or with SAGMeister or anything. Well, we can see it on the front that the space between this and the space between this is less space than this. So these aren't equally spaced. Table of contents, I just don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I highly recommend not leaving that page in. I would start with your spread. Okay, okay, I see okay, so that's the inside front cover right there. That would be the inside front cover. That would be your early life. That would be the first page. That's your first spread. That's pretty good setup, but this is just really wonky. Okay, so you have early life, that's your start, and then all of a sudden we go and we have this visual weight at the bottom of the page. It just doesn't need to be there. I just don't see any reason to put it there. And plus, the way it's placed, you can see it jumping around on each page, so that's indicating that you haven't used master pages to set up your document. Okay, let's take a look at the type. You've got your fold. Let me Command R this, and then your fold is going to end up being 22. So that's 11. So that's 11 by 8.5 times 2. So there's going to be your guide. There's your center line. Now, as you notice, there's just no margin. And one thing I'm noticing is you don't really have any margins on your pages. You're just kind of first thing I would do is I would just draw your grid. There's your playing area on each page. Make sure everything outside that playing area stays white as margin. Otherwise, you just get stuff that's going too close, okay? Now, if we take a look at this page, we see you've got this basic 3-column grid. However, this column and this column are not the same widths as this column and this column. And look at the gutter here as compared to here. So again, we're pointing to not using a grid consistently, and you're just placing items without really having the assistance of the alignment for the grid, plus the mathematical demarcations of the page, ensuring visual harmony caused and based on that grid itself. We draw a little guide right here. We can see that that's not an alignment, and then I would pull this down and align those two text boxes. I would align those, okay? So you have headline, text. Okay, make sure that these are mirror images of each other in your grid, okay? So that column, then the width of that should equal the width of that. Let's jump to the next page. Now, again, we've got like this kind of pseudo 3-column grid, but you can just really tell, honestly, Sarah, you can really tell that you're winging it. There's your center line. Okay, that page, you're pretty good on the gutter there. But if you see, take a look at this, the width of the gutter here, then let's just go right up here and take a look at how wide that is. So there's another inconsistency. Take a look at the left margin here and look how it's different here, okay? And we find that basically throughout your entire presentation, just lack of alignment throughout. Let me just pull a guide, let me show you what I mean. There's baseline there. That's the only baseline that none of these are aligned. None of your baselines are aligned, and you should have a uniform, where you start your type too, the top of your text. Okay, and then this page we've got again this 3-column grid. This one's in a box, but it's right up against that, and that's right up against that center fold right there. So again, here's your margin going right into the fold. When this page folds, you're going to lose text and image into the fold, especially when you start stacking pages. There, okay, and generally that's my main concern, is really severe alignment issues. Let's look at typography. Typeset's pretty good. These paragraphs look, actually, they look really good. I would not use lorem ipsum in here. Find some type in here. Otherwise, personally, if I find a, honestly, if I find a, if I'm reviewing a portfolio for somebody who wants to come to work, or if I'm subbing out work and I'm looking at the designer's portfolio, if I see Greeking, I'll finish the portfolio, but I'm not hiring that person. And I'll just be honest with you, okay? Because I think, and you're a student, you don't know, so I just want to make, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying, as a designer, when you submit Greeking, I think it's lazy, and to me, it indicates that. So, as a portfolio reviewer, might look at this and go, "Oh, wait, this designer never put real type in here." That was a step that probably would have been considered to be a missed opportunity. Noticing something down here. Look at this. I got to zoom in here. This is really strange. Okay, look at this. You've got your 2 columns, okay? But then this line here goes all the way, spans the whole column, so does that one. Okay, so does that one, and that one, and then the rest are 2 columns. So you got a kind of a combination of 2 in 1 column there. So that's really, really bizarre there. That will definitely have to be fixed. Okay, so space between paragraphs, I'm noticing none. Well, actually, that's a good demarcation of a new paragraph. Over here, you've got none. This is just one solid big block of text. Nobody's going to read that because it's too intimidating. As human beings, we like to see resting places, call outs, drop caps, call outs, pull quotes, and things like that, but we're not seeing just straight text, and it's just too much. Same here. Now here you've got some spaces between, but they're inconsistent. So a space between a paragraph would indicate a new paragraph. You would set that up in paragraph styles and keep that consistent throughout your entire presentation. However, we can see that those spaces between are inconsistent. Okay. Other than that, I'm just saying this pretty much seeing the same things over and over, and that's just lack of grid and lack of alignment. Okay, so that's where I am at. If you have any questions, it's a pretty simple fix, but we're running out of time, so I want you to have time to be able to fix this, and then don't forget we have to print it out and photograph it. So be sure to take a look at the announcements. Where I show you exactly how to do that, as well as some of the lecture materials in this week's course materials. So if you have any questions with that, but give yourself some time because it takes a minute. So if you have any issues with that, just please go ahead and give me a holler. Okay, thanks, Sarah.